Early Morning, Chapter 11. A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose. Artwork by Cat Saturn Art on Instagram. You can find a link to them in the description box below. Go give them all the like, love, hearts, comments, all that good stuff. And as long as we're spreading the love, don't forget to not only subscribe if you haven't already, but hit that bell for notifications, smash that like button or gently click it, and leave a comment to help the YouTube algorithm recommend this series to other people. If you don't know what to comment, put Marinette's Wrath. Now then, please enjoy Early Morning, Chapter 11. Adrien Agrest, 7:12 p.m. Okay, you can do this, Agrest. You can do this. You can walk into the Dupang Chang bakery with a smile. Might the love of your life attack you with an umbrella? Yeah, maybe, but that's a risk you're gonna have to take. Okay, you can do this, Agrest. You can do this. He saw Marinette through the bakery window, doing her closing chores, and swallowed. Yeah, he could do this. Cool. Cool. Taking a breath to steady himself, Adrien walked to the front door and tugged it open, the bell welcoming his death sentence. Hey there, Marinette began, a smile on her face as she looked up, only for it to drop entirely. Oh. Hello, Marinette. What are you doing here? The way she looked at him, fingers wrapped around the broom and all but sneering at him, was enough to send him to therapy. Hear me out, he said, holding up his hands. I have nothing to say to you, Agrest. She sighed, turning her back to him as she resumed sweeping. Swallowing a breath, he closed the distance between them in 3 strides, grabbing her just above the elbow. I need to talk to... She turned, fist swinging, and he dodged on instinct alone, losing his balance as he shuffled left, but not his grip. It turned her toward him, whether he wanted it to or not. Let go! She growled, trying to tug herself away before lifting the broom above her head as a weapon. Hear me out! No, let go! Ladybug! He hissed, squeezing her arm tighter before realizing he may bruise her. He snapped his hand away as her eyebrows lifted, hopefully in shock and not pain, and she slowly lowered her broom, bringing the handle to her chest. What about Ladybug? Marinette asked, narrowing her eyes. He could hear the suspicion in her voice. Don't play dumb. You're Ladybug. She swallowed. I might not have memories. She looked away. But don't try to trick me like that. Well, at least she knew how to protect her identity. He'd ensured that as Cat. I was a miraculous holder too, Marinette. She snapped back to him, showing more of the whites of her eyes than he'd ever seen. You were... what? Catching herself, she stilled her expression. Oh? Were you? Check with Cat Noir if you doubt me. No. She shook her head. The snake miraculous, right? Yeah. He nodded. Okay. Hurdle 1 complete. Aspic. Marinette sighed, looking up at the ceiling. Why are you here, Agrest? You'll hear me out? 2 minutes. She resumed sweeping, turning her back to him. I want to wake up Tiki. She stilled. My Kwame? Yeah. Marinette scoffed. You think you can? He bit his lip, grateful she wasn't looking, so she didn't see the hesitation on his face. I'm, 30% sure. She spun around, What, you don't remember how you woke up yours? Oh. She thought you had to wake up a Kwame to use a Miraculous. That made sense, given what he'd said as Cat and just now. He'd never explained it from the start, and he hadn't told her he couldn't get the Ladybug Miraculous working since she stopped being the Guardian. The Ladybug Miraculous is, He couldn't hold her gaze and looked away. It's different. Different how? She still scowled at him, but at least they were talking. That's a step forward, at least. No one that I know of has had to wake up a Kwame, Marinette. Her grip relaxing, Marinette leaned her weight on the broom, her face shifting from irritation to that of a mathematician or a physics student. Is something wrong with it? She all but whispered, looking back at him. He bit his lip, eyes retreating to the floor before flicking back. Something's not right. That's for sure. Cat told you this? How could he respond? I'm Hawkmoth's son, so I know a few things. The broom hit the floor as her jaw dropped. What? She whispered. Gabriel Agreste had the butterfly Miraculous until you tore it off his chest. Her face paled. Oh. What? Nothing. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know I'm gonna start working on it. She nodded, suddenly unable to make eye contact with him. Okay. So, I'll be in touch. Is that okay? She inhaled sharply through her nose, still not looking at him. Don't tell Cat Noir. Huh? Don't tell him. He won't want me sticking my nose in this. He lifted his eyebrows. Marinette? Getting herself into acts of espionage with the hated Agreste boy? And not telling her best friend and ex? While this was a step in repairing his relationship for her as Adrien, he couldn't help but feel the sting of betrayal at her words. Okay, he nodded. I won't let him know any more than I have to. She sighed, clearly not pleased with that answer. This doesn't mean I trust you. Adrien smiled as he squatted to pick up the broom. I know, Marinette, he said, holding it up to her. I know. She took it without a word of thanks, and he stood, turning for the door. I'll be in touch, he said, feeling empty yet relieved as he reached for the door handle. You'd better, Marinette said, and he could feel her stare. He opened the door, its bell ringing the farewell she hadn't given, and stepped out. That could have gone worse. In fact, he should be happy he left physically intact, but there was an overwhelming sense of loss blanketing him. The loss of his friend. Even though he could be with her with a mask, he'd lost two things. He'd lost his partner as his partner, and on the other aching, bleeding valve of his heart, Adrien lost his friend Marinette. Oh, this ever-aching pain pulsing with each heartbeat. Despite the victory, Adrien knew he'd greet the dawn without a wink of sleep. Thank you so much for listening. Chapter 12 is on the way. In the meantime, you can check out these other videos for more fanfiction. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button and leave a comment. If you don't know what to comment, put sleepless night. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.